Hello and welcome to this special report from OTT Wrestling. I'm your host, Angus McAnally, and joining me is the leader of the draw, the NLW champ, the Snake, Sammy D. Sammy, thank you for being here today.
Good to see you, Ango.
Okay, good to see you too. Let's get straight to it. You and I don't necessarily often agree on many things, but one thing I have to say is that there is a grudging respect that you've decided to have this interview here in the Hangar in Wolverhampton, the home of British wrestling. What in the hell is going on? What inspired you to choose here to shoot this?
I mean, Ango, it's simple. There's this mystique about the Hangar in Wolverhampton where British wrestling lives. I want to come here today and make the statement that the draw fears nobody. Sammy D fears nobody.
It's an interesting time in Irish wrestling because it feels that there's been a bit of a line in the sand drawn, that the draw are standing up to say, we are Irish wrestling and we're here to stand up proudly and say, this is who we are. On the other side of that fence, it would appear, are four men from this neck of the woods, and it feels like there's a real split there, and you want to send a message.
I mean, Ango, the draw is OTT. I am OTT. I'm Irish wrestling to the core. I'm sick and tired of the Trent Sevens, of the Omaris, of the Derises, of the Dan Maloney's coming over and taking what's mine.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because as you say, Irish wrestling is in your blood. You're a man who's still a good bit away from his 30th birthday, and yet over a decade in the business, a man who's achieved so much. You've been with Irish wrestling right the way through, from those, tiny crowds of 10 or 20 in the old GAA halls to the early days of the Tivoli, right the way through to the glory days of Irish wrestling. What is it about that sense of pride, maybe, in Irish wrestling that drives you?
I breathe Irish wrestling. I come from a lineage, the Paul Tracy's, the Fergal Devons, the Jordan Devlins. Irish wrestlers. We have such a mark on this business. And I want to be named in the same breath as them men. My goal is simple, Ango. This year, I will win the OTT World Championship and cement my name as one of the greats of Irish wrestling.
Well, that's a lofty aspiration, but the honest truth is, as the leader of the draw, you can back it up. In this rebuilding phase of Irish wrestling, post-pandemic, post-lockdown, as we've come back to put Irish wrestling back on the map, you, as the leader of the draw, have kind of fulfilled every promise you made. We look at the draw now, we see gold dripping from every single man there. What is it about this current phase of Irish wrestling and how you've been achieving your goals that speaks to what's coming up in the future for you?
OTT is my home.
Yeah.
Trent comes back and says, it's great to be home. But is he next? Is he all elite? Is he OTT? I tell you what I am. I am OTT. I am Irish wrestling. I took it on myself to rebuild post-pandemic. And nobody is taking it away from me.
Well, the success speaks for itself. It is irrefutable. But you have a very serious challenge coming up January 27th here at the Hangar, the spiritual home of British wrestling. You're coming to Trent Seven's backyard to try and prove to him that the draw is on top. But standing in your way, Trent Seven, OTT champ Omari, Dan Maloney, man like Derise. I respect the hell out of the draw. Those are four intimidating men, and you're coming to fight them here. You reckon you stand a chance?
No doubt. Said to you before, Ango, the draw fears no one. We have our goals set. We know what we have to do. I will lay out Trent Seven, and I will be undoubtedly the number one contender for Omari, that paper champion.
Strong words from the leader of the draw. We are here at the Hangar, Wolverhampton, the spiritual home of #BritRes, to see if the Irish boys can make their mark. January 27th, the Hangar, Wolverhampton. Make sure you join us.